great show for you today. I am so happy to have in the studio Mike Carlisle. Mike Carlisle just did the most amazing tribute and produced an amazing tribute to Ram Dass. And Mike, I have known since, when you were working with hospice, and then you got very closely involved in supporting Ram Dass. And what an amazing tribute that was you did at the Castle Theater.
It was beautiful.
Oh, my gosh. And now we have a very special guest on the line. I am very happy to welcome Simrit. Simrit calling in. Aloha, Simrit. How are you today?
Hi, I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm great. I was just telling Mike, who's here, Mike Carlisle's here with us. I was just telling Mike how I discovered your amazing classes online for sacred sound courses. And you should have seen me this morning. I was going around doing go, and doing my whole thing. I had my headphones on, and I haven't done that kind of singing in a while. I was just so impressed with your work, and we're just thrilled that we're going to be blessed with your presence here on Sunday, April.
Thank you so much. That means a lot, and thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate that.
So you are not just doing a performance, you are doing teachings, and you have your band with you, and you're going to come with your magical band as well, right?
That's right. Yeah, we're really looking forward to it. This is the first time that we've brought everybody with us, and, every year it's like, gosh, I wish we could have the band here so Maui can experience the full sound, but at the same time, it's always been really, really beautiful the way it was. And but I'm really excited because it's a stellar lineup of musicians, and not only that, it's my band. We've been playing together for years, and we have a really beautiful synergy and beautiful chemistry together.
I could tell that. And you know what is amazing? You have this beautiful new CD. And in 10 years, don't you sometimes look back at how amazing the last 10 years have been for you in music and what you've done?
Oh, God, it's gone by so fast. And I may not look at it like someone else does. I'm always wanting to get better and better. So, after I release this album, I'm like, okay, the next stuff's going to be even better.
Mm-hmm. I know. Well, that's what drives us to do more and more. And but
I think too, as an artist, or at least for me in my artistry, I always grow so quickly and so much, and I feel that each album is representative of that as well. And when you release an album, it's like you're already on to the next new stuff. Not that you don't acknowledge this. Like, for me, this album is my favorite, personally, like, all around. If I had to say, I love the live album, too, so much. It's hard to say between those two albums, but I would say that I love this album. I love When We Return. And I think the songs, they're so beautiful, and they're so powerful, and they have such an intelligence to them, each and every one of the songs, that it's, so when I say I'm ready to show you even the new stuff, it's not because this album isn't, I don't think that this album's amazing, because I do, and we're really excited as a band to be playing these songs for you in the concert and the workshops and stuff too.
Well, I have to say it's interesting, because I was just talking to Mike here about the fact that when you get into the kind of music you perform, you started in 2010 with The Sweetest Nectar, and then you were originally also recognized in some of the yoga charts. The Yoga Journal said you were one of the 10 best yoga albums of the year when you did Far From the Ancient Storm, but you also were in world charts, so you are actually covering New Age, world, yoga, and it's kind of interesting, ethereal, neo-psychedelic world psych. So you know how it is when you try to define, right? But it's interesting. What do you look for when you try to see? Are you going after, when you try to see how you're doing? Do you go after the world music charts or the New Age, or where does it fall? Do you know?
Well, I don't get to choose the charts that it falls on. Actually, that gets chosen by Billboard, and iTunes also chooses that. And it's just like if someone goes for a Grammy, they don't get to choose the category.
That's
they
true.
go and they get selected for that.
Yeah.
So, which I haven't done yet, but I think we may try for this album. It's possible, maybe not. But yeah, it's hard to define what we do. Like when I look on the Wikipedia page, I see neo-psychedelic world beat, which I think is kind of cool, but at the same time, it's like more than that.
It is, yeah.
Ethereal wave,
Yeah.
you know, that's a very cool terminology, and I know that genre, and some of the bands that I respect so highly are in that genre, you know, Dead Can Dance and Maz and Star and the Cocteau Twins, and we do have some of that in the music too, but it's not that either. It's really hard to define it.
Well,
But,
you know what? It's your passion for channeling. You're able to bring this spiritual energy through, and I think people see that, don't you think, Mike?
Indeed.
When you're performing, it's like you really go into almost like a trance-like state, and this energy just pours through you. And, you know, I mean, I hate to say it, but back in the old Grateful Dead days, that's why people went to concerts, because they could feel the energy that was live that makes it so special. Do you feel that as well, the audience energy back as well?
Yes, indeed. We just played last night in the Bay Area. A couple of my bandmates and I played, and we had a beautiful bass player with us who is a roots reggae bassist. And you know, we were playing for one of my hubby's live workshops, and it was so potent. The music really, you know, evokes a certain kind of mood that you can't really put your finger on. You don't really know what that feeling is, but it just feels so good, and it's so deep, and there's such a transmission, like you said, that happens. And I think the transmission happens best when we're able to get out of the way as the musicians and let it come through us, and not focus on like the notes and the changes, like when we're so practiced that we don't have to think about that stuff, and when we can just be in the moment. And it does. I mean, I've had people say things to me like, I don't know, a lot of people have been like, it felt like a shamanic experience. I was like, whoa. Like,
no, it does.
cool.
It does. Absolutely does.
It's really cool.
If you're just tuning in, I'm talking to Simrit, who's going to be playing on March 22nd at the Castle Theater. And what time is that going to be, Mike?
7 o'clock.
It's 7 o'clock, and there will be dance space available.
There are some tickets left for that.
And it's a large space, so people can come and spread out and go into a meditative state, because truly that's where you're coming from. It truly lifts the energy and the spirits. And you've really practiced that. And I have to say, Simrit, you're a very good communicator, and I think that reaches on lots of levels. I mean, I noticed it when I saw your videos, which I recommend highly people getting. The Sacred Sounds was really very, very interesting. And I've studied sound for a long time because I talk a lot. Spoken word, but yours was very, very well done. And I saw when you were doing your talking, you just talk also. When you teach from spirit, you know, and that comes through without ego. And that's got to be a challenge because, as you know, I mean, some of this music business is kind of ego-driven, right? Sometimes, just sometimes, just sometimes. But you get on there, you get yourself set, and then you take off. But I have to ask you a personal question. Where do you get these wild headdresses?
Well, I have them made, actually, and they're inspired by my ancient Greek roots and the women in the ancient Greek culture, whether they're in the mythical characters like the gods or goddesses, or whether they were actual people, human beings living thousands of years ago in ancient civilizations in Greece that ran council. Women were really, before Christianity took over, before the Romans brought Christianity and forced people to change to Christianity, Greece was a very their culture of veneration was goddess veneration. It was a big part of it. And they also venerated nature and things like that. So during that time, the headdresses were worn a lot more. And women would run council and make decisions for different societies, and societies that were very artistic and egalitarian, and that were very harmonious societies, and that were based on art. And these women would wear these elaborate headdresses and these crazy dresses that I don't try to copy those dresses to a T, because they were dresses that were pretty revealing, in certain ways. I think back then, thousands and thousands of years ago, it was probably really beautiful and accepted in society. It was probably a little bit different back then, especially in these artistic societies. But yeah, I've been really inspired by my ancient roots. I was born there and orphaned as a baby, as a newborn, actually, and lived there for 2 years almost as an orphan, and then brought to the States as as a member of a Greek family in the States. And I was really fortunate to be raised in my own tradition. I was very, very fortunate to have two loving Greek parents that raised us in a really strong Greek culture. So with like the dancing and the music and the language and the culture and all of that. So that really, always, my culture always has intrigued me, and it really helps when you have parents that are super enthusiastic about it too.
Absolutely.
You know how Greeks are. I don't know if you know any
yes.
Greeks, but
Oh, absolutely. And you know what? I've been to Greece quite a few times, and I don't know if you've had a chance to go to Greece and go to the wonderful island off. It's a sacred island. You can only go in the daytime, Theos. And it's got this. It's a powerful island, so powerful. That's where they used to go. And if it's not, it's past Santorini, but it's a separate little island. And oh my gosh, if you go there, if you get a chance to go there, it's a sacred, powerful island, and you feel the energy there. I mean, there were many, as you said, powerful people coming throughout, not just the Athens area, but throughout all of Greece and the islands as well. When you think about Corinthians and all the Corinthia islands, I went there, and that's another amazing place. Have you had a chance to play Greece yet?
I haven't played Greece. I've been there many times. I have a lot of family there, and I was really fortunate to meet my birth family there a couple of years ago as well. And it's just, I have so much family from my parents, both of my parents that raised me, and also my birth family, and it's been really I've always been back to Greece since I was younger. My parents would bring us and things like that, but I have not been to many of the islands, only a couple of the islands, and I haven't been to Corinth at all. So I've never even been to Santorini, and that's a place I'd like to go. I know it's really touristy.
It's touristy, but maybe not now.
Maybe. Yeah, right. But I mean, oh my gosh. And the way that it's situated on the caldera and everything is just, it's pretty amazing. And I mean, I even love just being in the city, even going to Athens, which is where I was born, and then also the beach right off the coast, or right near the port, Lusa, which is right, it's like an offshoot of Athens, basically, but the coast, and it's just so beautiful.
It is.
I mean,
it's a very magical, wonderful place. I adore it, of course. And you have this amazing affinity for interesting instruments as well. I know you play, what, 2 or 3 instruments. You talk in your talks about you're liking the rhythms and the drums, but you also do piano. Is that it? Do you do other instruments? You do the harmonium, right?
Yeah, I play harmonium. I grew up studying piano for 7 years, and I studied drums as well, but not drum kit. I used to study African drums. And when I got to college, I actually started touring around with an African drumming company. I played djembe, and, I haven't been doing that for probably, 15 years, playing djembe as much. So it's not something that I would say that I'm proficient at this point, but I used to be really good at djembe playing, and I would never call myself a master of the djembe by any stretch. But I played in an incredible African drumming company, and we toured regionally when I was in college, and it was beautiful. I didn't sing in that band or anything. I just played one steady rhythm each song for like 20 minutes,
And you weren't singing at all. Amazing.
No, but just the hypnotic feel and sound of the drums, and being able to the drum master in the group was from Ghana, and he would play all types of polyrhythms while we kept my rhythm would be like ga 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 ga, like, you know, for like 20 minutes I would hold that down, and then the person next to me would be like ba ba da ba 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 da ba, you know, the person next to them would just it was an orchestra really of drums, and it was beautiful. And that's traditionally how African drums are played. And then there's usually a lead drummer who's playing djembe or a drum similar to that that's really going off and improvising and playing polyrhythms and different things. And it's really cool. And I really enjoyed being in the background when I was in that group for 4 years, and I enjoyed playing my rhythm, you know, and just being there and being able to even be a part of it in the first place.
And in your band and in your music, you know, you really do have a strong band. What other instruments are going to be happening there that night of March 22nd at the Castle Theater?
Yes, we have a very eclectic band, and there's nothing like it on the planet, at least that I've ever heard of, you know, in my life at this point. We have Devin Ashley on drums and hand percussion, and he is a phenomenal drummer. He has the most incredible feel, and, you know, he could just play like one simple beat and people will go nuts over him and be like, that's the best drummer I've ever heard. And he's technically amazing, but he's all about feel, and people feel him truly, and then they go nuts because he's amazing at what he does. And then we have Salif Bamakora, who plays the 21-string African harp instrument.
Ooh, wow.
Mali, and he's been studying for 21 years the West African kora, which is like the 21-string gourd instrument.
Wow.
And he plays it with 4 fingers. And Mike can vouch, you know, he's incredible. He's a master of his craft, and you know, we've written a few songs together, but you know, as a band, we've been writing a lot more together this recent winter. And he just brings such a beautiful energy, and of course, I mean, his sound will blow your mind. He's just a master at what he does. So just to listen to him is just such a treat, you know, to listen to him and feel his energy. And then we have Shannon Hayden, who she plays cello, and she also plays guitar. Cello's her first instrument, and she has picked up guitar, and she's a beautiful guitar player as well. But the main phenomena about her is her connection with the cello and the effects that she runs her cello through. And she's such a stellar musician. It's just like out of this world to hear her.
Cello is very soulful. You know, a lot of people don't realize that. I believe cello is very soulful, very, very soulful.
Yes.
And all you have to do is listen to Yo-Yo Ma doing a couple of great.
Yeah,
it's
totally.
like, whoa.
Well, I feel that Shannon is in a league of her own personally, and she has been classically trained since she was 7. She was a child prodigy, and the Yale University reached out to her so that they could basically pay for her to get her master's degree there and skip her bachelor's degree.
Amazing.
So that's what she did, and they taught her for free, basically. And she got her master's, skipped her bachelor's. I mean, she's an incredibly gifted cello player, to say the least.
Wow.
And
you have a great love for your band, I can tell.
Oh yeah. And she's just such a gorgeous, beautiful person, and she's just a stunning musician. So then we have Jared May, who's our bassist, and he plays electric bass, but he also plays the Moog synthesizer sometimes, and he also is trained in jazz music and was trained at a university as well. And so everyone in the band is classically trained in their own traditions, but that's not necessarily the feel of the music. The feel of the music is just its own thing. You know, it has its own sound, and everyone brings their own lineages and gifts and training, and you know, and then my singing comes. You know, I've studied a few different traditions, and I bring that to the table, and it's just like it's it's eccentric in a way, but it's very eclectic as well, and it has like this psychedelic feel to it, even though it's not like, we're not like trying to be psychedelic. It doesn't sound like, okay, let's go be a psychedelic band. It just has like a beautifully psychedelic feel to it because it's so etheric and expansive, yet it's so grounded as well. And it's
I find it very ultra dimensional. Ultra dimensional music.
Yeah, yeah.
Because
that's a really cool way to describe it. When people ask me like, what does your music sound like? Though I don't even usually say psychedelic, I just say it's a cosmic journey is what it is.
Yeah.
And you will have gone through the concert and be like, whoa, that's over? Okay, what was that? Like, you know, like, wow, what was that? Like, I just went on this magic carpet ride, and I did not know we had landed. We're landed now. Okay.
Yes.
Right.
No, it's true.
Like that.
It's true.
It's
Well,
like other dimensions for sure.
you have a very, very deep practice between your Kundalini yoga and your music, and being able to do all that in tour, and we're really, really excited to have you come to the MACC on March 22nd, the only concert here on Maui this year with you. So we're encouraging in fact, it's not just Maui, the only concert in the state that's happening. So we hope everyone gets a chance to experience for themselves how wonderful this is. And I can't wait to see what headdress you're going to wear. It's just like,
thank you.
I don't know who makes your headdresses. Like you said, you have them handmade, but boy, are they gorgeous. RuPaul would be blushing when he saw you.
Aw.
They're truly
really fun.
they're truly magical, and so is your music and your voice. And I'm just really, when Mike said, we could arrange an interview, I went, I'm very excited for this because I know that when I listen to music, it's like so uplifting. It's meditation music as well, and it's uplifting, and
for sure.
and it's got great energy. So we're going to welcome you here to Maui, and I hope you have a wonderful time out. I know you're going to have a few Kundalini workshops happening. I think there's only like 4 tickets left for those at the Makawao Church, but you can, if people do want to look, they can go to the website, right?
Yep. Try to sing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, which is wonderful.
Yeah.
And people can hear and download and get your music at your website, right?
Yes, they can. They could go to simritcarmusic.com and find tour dates that go through June, and also, the workshop dates are on there as well for the workshops at the Makawao Church. And like I said before, we just feel really grateful to be coming out there, and we're so grateful to our dear brother Mike.
Yes.
For always just supporting us and believing in us and bringing us out there. This is our 6th year coming out there, and we couldn't do it without him.
He's an angel.
And
He's an angel. I've always said when I first met, he's an angel, truly.
Yes, he is.
That's Simrit, spelled Simrit, Car, Kaur, Simrit Car Music?
Yes.
.com, right? Okay. Well, thank you so much. I just, maybe if you have time when you get here, we'll have another in-person interview. Just really enjoy having the time, and it's been a real pleasure getting to meet you and talk to you over the phone, and enjoy that full moon. Did you see it last night? Oh my gosh, was it big? Ooh.
It was big. It was amazing.
It was super moon. So wonderful talking to you, Simrit. Thanks so much for calling in.
Likewise. Thanks so much for having me, Cindy. Y'all take care.
A big aloha.
Aloha.